Oh, hi. Come on in. Welcome to my office. Don't you like it? I love it. I'm Lee Olson, your next United States Senator from the late great state of California. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. I'm here to tell you about an exciting and liberating California Initiative Constitutional Amendment. The fact that it's exciting and liberating is evidenced by the resultant freedom this family pictured above is taking advantage of to become personally involved in the education of their children, so they can ensure that the children will acquire the skills necessary to read, to write, to think, and to calculate. So the exciting Initiative Constitutional Amendment that provides this liberating freedom is the California Education Tax Relief Act. Its reason for existence is to eliminate coercive funding of government schools. And it does this by prohibiting property, sales, or income taxes from being used to fund the California's government schools, government colleges, government universities, or buy textbooks for government grades 1 through 8, according to the California Attorney General's summary, which I think is an accurate summary. A legislative analyst and the director of finance estimates that its fiscal impact would be the elimination of most existing state and local government funding for education programs. And that would be government education programs. And I say, hallelujah. That's what it was intended to do. Mission accomplished. Bring her right in on the carrier deck there. That's mission accomplished in spite of Prop 98, a measure proposed by the education establishment to make sure it got its grubby hands on state general funds before anyone else. Now, I wasn't around when Prop 98 was passed back in November of 1988. And I didn't become aware of it until 1 month after the Attorney General issued the summary and title for the California Education Tax Relief Act. I found that when I was researching the state education expenditure history. So this initiative was not written with Prop 98 in mind. So when I found about a Prop 98, I checked it out. While reading the information, I began wondering how Prop 98 would impact this initiative. But after studying the matter, I concluded that this initiative will essentially gut Prop 98, which was a mistake to start with. So here's our chance to correct that mistake. And as I noted before, the legislative analyst and director of finance agrees with this assessment. This initiative will eliminate most existing state and local government funding for education programs, and that would be government education programs. The elimination of most existing state and local government funding is why this initiative is so exciting and liberating, both. You see, if the government can no longer steal your money or my money under duress through coercion and educate your children the way it wants to, then you're going to have the money to educate your children the way you want to. Now, do you think you might have different objectives and requirements for your child's education than the power-seeking, arrogant, abusive, and condescending government does? Indubitably. This initiative gets government off your back and out of your pocketbook. It lets you be the master of your child's education, not the self-serving government. You know, when I ask people about their thoughts on this initiative, I usually get a blank stare for a short moment. After all, this concept is revolutionary because we've been acclimated to accept without question that education is a prime function of government. Its expenditures on this are huge, local, state, federal. It's huge, as I'll show you. So we've been acclimated to accept without question that education is a prime function of government. And we don't question it. We complain, we don't question. But hold on, can we get serious here? Before we go on, I'm going to make a profound statement that I'd like you to embrace. The education of our children is a critical function for ensuring their lifetime well-being. That's not so profound. That's a given. The profound statement is this. In fact, education is so critical, it should never, ever be placed in the hands of government. Why? Because, as everyone knows with surety, government never does anything right. It always botches whatever it does. Furthermore, government has demonstrated that it doesn't care about your children. It only cares about itself. We have plenty of evidence from the last several decades that betrays that our government deliberately turns out functional illiterates, deliberately subverts the morals of our children, deliberately administers debilitating and sometimes killer drugs. Yes, kids are dying from the drugs they're being given at school. Government destroys the child's creative mind, and it consumes an excessive amount of wealth in the process. And that's just for starters. I'm going to present you some facts showing just how outrageous is the government's consumption of wealth in its process of providing so-called education. And at the end of this presentation, I'll give you a present that will enable even welfare families to obtain a top-notch education at an affordable price. My presence is not a paid vacation. My present is advising you as to where you can get a welfare, affordable education that will provide the knowledge and the skills necessary to achieve SAT scores above 1,000, whereas the average SAT scores for the 2009 college-bound students range from 493 to 763. So listen up, Black America. Here's your chance to break out of the poverty cycle. You need this initiative more than any other group of Americans. So click on the Part 2 video for more facts about the California Education Tax Relief. And I'll see you there.